Three, two, and
Dang it.
one. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys, to the Kings and Queens Academy. We're back for another live stream. I'm Coach Brown. This is Nikki Lil. We are super excited about tonight's live stream. Um, like, I don't know, I'm at a loss for words, but I think we're going to dive into some powerful things that's really going to help propel a lot of people forward. So, what we want to do right now, prior to getting into this live stream, is we're personally going to share this video to our Facebook pages and things of that nature. Anybody who is currently watching the live stream right now, we ask if you guys can go ahead and also share this video because the information we are going to share tonight is something that everybody can benefit from, not only including yourself, but anyone who you love and care about or you want to see, pushing forward in life. Definitely share this up so they can tap into tonight's message. 100%. So let's go ahead and get this shared up. You guys get it shared up, and then we're going to kick things off tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and share this in the meantime. Let's see. Share. I'm going to share this to our Kings and Queens Academy, the actual page, and you guys can go ahead and like the page too because it's going to be a
For
powerful page.
sure.
Yeah. So so Nikki, did you want to go ahead and kind of touch base on what it is we're going to be talking about tonight, and we'll get the ball rolling here and just go through this, man. It's time for these people to get freed up.
So basically tonight we're going to be talking about essentially the pursuit of your passions in conjunction with the idea of, there's New Year coming and what we need to do to get started to get ready for that new year. A couple days, the ball's dropping, or actually tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow's creeping up on us.
The ball's dropping, and a lot of people have New Year's resolutions. A lot of people are talking about how terrible of a year it is, and we really want to think about starting 2021 on a really powerful foot. So we're just going to hit you with some tidbits of information to really think about your passion in regards to pursuing maybe a New Year's resolution or maybe a new business venture. Maybe your career is a little bit different now, or you're working part-time instead of full-time. Now is a perfect opportunity to really pursue things that you enjoy, things that light you up, things that make you happy. And what we're going to talk about first is living on purpose.
Yes. So living on purpose is one of my favorite things to talk about because it really puts you in a place of power. And purpose, that means that you're not just aimlessly floating through life, right? You're not just aimlessly engaging in activities. You're not just spending your time for the sake of spending your time. Everything that you're doing, everything that you're lending your energy to, is for a purpose and is on purpose, right? So we have to be clear on what it is. We're going to touch on some of these things a little bit later, so I'm not going to go all the way into it, but I'm going to mention it only to highlight the significance of living on purpose. But you got to ask yourself, why are you here, right? What do you want out of life? What it is that you want to do? And then when you answer these questions, you have to make sure that everything that you engage in is moving you closer to whatever it is that you conclude is that end destination for you, right? So if you want to achieve, phenomenal things in your lifetime, then that's going to require you to have a phenomenal level of discipline when it comes to the things that you engage in. Also, you have to understand that everything that happens in your life is happening for you and not to you, right? That is one of the most powerful distinctions that you can make. And the reason why I say that is because when people feel like life is happening to them, it puts them in the place of becoming a victim, right? Victimhood. It's like, why me? Why did this happen to me? Why did this have to happen to me? And when you're in that mind frame, you miss out on the lessons. And when you miss out on the lessons, you miss out on the blessings, right? Because inside of every lesson, if you can unravel the lesson, there's a blessing waiting for you, right? So if you understand that everything that's taking place in your life is happening for you, then you seek out the lesson inside of any given situation or scenario. When something happens in your life, you don't just lower your head and why me, poor me. You're like, wait a minute, why did that happen, right? I told one of my friends, Dan, I always tell him this whenever something happens to him. I said, Dan, you know what? Whenever something happens in your life, always ask yourself, what's great about this? Now I know that sounds like like cliche or something, the fortune cookie type stuff or something like that. But it really trains you to find the lesson inside of everything or the blessing inside of everything. So no matter how terrible things may look on the surface, if you ask yourself, wait a minute, what's great about this? It forces you to take a look at the situation and try to find something in there that is for you and that's for your betterment, and that's going to push you forward. So living on purpose just means that everything that you're doing is moving you closer to your destination, moving you closer to your destiny. Everything that you're doing is on the strength of you. Like you decided to do that because it's in alignment with your purpose. You're not doing things, out of reaction. You're not doing things out of lack of discipline. Like people are like, oh, let's go over here and do this and do that. And you're like, all right, well, yeah, let's do that. But it's not moving you forward. It's not serving you. So have that level of discipline to not engage in things that are not for your betterment and that are not moving you towards your purpose or your destiny, right? We have to avoid those things and have that level of discipline. Now, I'll talk about this all night because it fires me up, but we got other things we're going to dive into that's going to tie into this. But the first thing you got to really hone in on is make sure you're living on purpose and understand that life is happening for you and not to you, because then and only then will you be able to reach the height of your potential.
Definitely. And thinking about the things that do happen to you, understanding, I actually put a post up today about this, understanding that everything happens for a reason. So I know, again, that sounds like, oh, well, why did I get in a car accident? Well, I'm here to tell you, you actually created that. I know that sounds crazy, but the power of the conscious and the subconscious mind is absolutely incredible. So whether you intend consciously to create something or not, it actually comes into reality. Like the universe and the mind only know yes. So, for example, if you think about being late, I talked about this earlier today, and you're rushing around, then you're being late, and then you don't want to be late, but then you get into, construction zone, and then you get behind the slowest person on the road, and then you get to work and you can't find a parking spot. Like, thinking about before leaving the house that you're going to be late, you actually created that into the future. So the power of visualization is something that you can really use to your benefit. So for negative things, of course, that happens to us every single day, but also for positive things. So understand how powerful the mind is. When you think about something, and you put that thought into that thing for long enough, and the mind creates that into reality. So if you ever heard of like positive affirmations, they're just like mantras that you say to yourself to help change the subconscious mind into new programming in order to help create the future or the results that you'd like. So the power of visualization, we're just going to touch about that little tidbit today, but like we could talk about this for days. There's a lot of different techniques and specific ways to do this, to create this actually into a really effective way. And then there's ways that you can do it if you're familiar with the law of attraction. A lot of people watch one movie about it and think that they know how to manifest, but there's so much more to that. If you have any specific questions about that, you feel free to message me and we can talk a little bit more about that. But understand and know that you have the power to create whatever you want for yourself in your future. And it starts with the mind and the power of visualization and using that technique properly to create the results you want for your future.
And one thing too, like with the visualization, I think that takes us right into the next point in one aspect, and that, passion awareness, right? Because tonight's episode, or I'd say episode because I'm so used to podcasting, tonight's live stream is, purpose, passion, and the pursuit. So you have to have passion awareness, right? So what is passion awareness? Passion awareness is just what it sounds like, being aware of areas where you're passionate, right? if you ask the average person, if you went up to, just someone if you just went up to them and said, hey, you know what are you really passionate about? The average person wouldn't even know. They'll be like, maybe, I don't know. I think I'm passionate when maybe when I'm playing PlayStation, I get kind of passionate. You know what I mean? Or something. But most people don't know what it is that really ignites them, right? What they're really passionate about. So you have to have passion awareness. So how do we have passion awareness? It's just by um, acknowledging the times and the moments in life when that passion arises in you, right? So when we think about what we want to do with our life, right? We've been given these guidelines where we're supposed to kind of gauge from, and that's like, how much money do I want to make? Where do I want to live? What do I want to do for? What sounds cool to do for a career? Like, does this job sound cool? Does it not sound cool? All of these different gauges, but in reality, what you have to gauge your activities around is what we already talked about earlier, is what's your purpose. But secondly, um, what are you passionate about, right? Because purpose is the destination, right? We're gonna dive into this a little bit later, but purpose is the destination. And passion is the fuel that's gonna allow you to get from where you are to that destination to fulfill on your purpose. So you need passion to help you keep going, right? People get wrapped up in like money, like, oh, I want to make this money, I want to do this, I want to get this money. I'll tell you from personal experience, and I'm pretty sure Nikki, you can attest to this as well. Um, Money gets old. Money will not keep you engaged, right? You may think like, oh, I want to make this amount of money. But
Right.
what you'll find is when you make that amount of money, that's not the finish line. You
Right.
might feel good
Want
for a
more.
little bit. Yeah, you want more. Like there's no fulfillment in money. There's only it only the finish line just continues to move. So the reason why I say that is that you cannot allow money to be the driving force, because at some point money will not be enough. So you have to ask yourself, if you took money out of the equation, then what would you do? If money was not part of the equation and you woke up and you could do whatever you wanted to do every day, all day, what would you do? What would give you the greatest amount of joy? What would give you the greatest amount of fulfillment? What would make you feel like a success? And whatever comes to mind when you think of it in that light, those are the things that you're passionate about, right? What wakes you up? What is it that you hear about where you're like, it just ignites you and you go to the next level when it comes to those things? Those are the things that you're passionate about, and those are the things that you should be engaging in, because through engaging in those activities, that passion will fast track you right into your purpose.
For sure. I actually read a quote today someone put up that said, "Do more things that allow you to forget to check your phone." So, and I thought that was so brilliant. Like, we talked about this last week. Everybody's on the phone and phone, and I'm number
Mm,
one, like, totally guilty of this because I run my business through my phone. So I'm always constantly, no matter it's one thing or another, constantly on my phone, with social media engagement and checking emails and communication back and forth. But that was just such a brilliant idea, to do more things that just kind of bring you present right into the now and kind of forget about your phone and everything else and all the distractions, and really embrace like the things that you truly truly are passionate about, the things that really make you happy and bring you joy. And then we can think about, interconnected with that, just having a positive mental attitude around whatever it is that is happening, especially when you're pursuing, say for example, you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to pursue a career that like is your dream career, but it's going to take a lot of hard work and hustle. And when it comes to something like an entrepreneurial journey, it's like you have to be 100% all in. I read
mm,
another thing the other day. Someone said, if your why, like why you do things, doesn't make you cry, then you need to dig deeper. So
mm,
the positive mental attitude about the ups and downs of what might happen to you, in conjunction with your why, like why you are pursuing what you are pursuing, has the power to transform your life. Keeping in the right mindset, there's like a tipping scale. So if you just keep 51% or more positive, you really have the power to transform your life. And thinking about, when you do hit some obstacles, you do hit the bumps in the road, not only having a positive mental attitude, but also staying solution oriented. So what do I mean by that? Essentially, thinking that there's a solution to any problem. Like in our business, like me and my business partner, we say this to everyone all the time. This is like our motto. There's a solution to every problem. Basically, no matter what the problem is, there can be a solution. Even if it doesn't seem like you can find that solution right there and then, even if it feels like the world is against you and your walls are crumbling down, all that, sometimes you go through those days, but having that positive mental attitude to pull you out, be in it for a second. Punch your pillows if you have to. Scream in your car if you need to get that aggression out, and then keep it moving. Sometimes you actually have to physically let it out. Take an intensive workout class, whatever type of thing you like to do to relieve stress, and then proceed forward. Sometimes I like to tell people maybe take a 20-minute meditation, a guided meditation. It's almost like, I call it like an on-off switch. It's kind of like flicks it off real quick and then flicks you back right on. It really gives you the opportunity to kind of hit the reset button. So having that positive mental attitude and then being solution oriented. What lesson can be learned, like we talked about earlier, in regards to what's happening, and also like, what can we do now to proceed forward to fix this problem or this issue or resolve this issue? So maybe you can't figure it out on your own. Sometimes it takes the help of a coach. Sometimes it takes the help of a significant other, or even just like a friend, or even sometimes like a neutral party, like maybe a friend that you have on social media. Sometimes you need an outsider's perspective to really give you some good insight. But I promise you, there is a solution to every single problem. It's not really the problem, it's really the mindset and how you're looking at it. And sometimes, reaching out for help is the easiest way to address those kind of issues.
For sure.
And then thinking about coming from there, dealing with issues, we have to think about like, why are we pursuing, especially like I talked about earlier, the entrepreneurial game that can chew you up and spit you out. I promise you, I've been doing it for almost 10 years and it's no joke, and then what you have to come to think about at the end of the day is like, why am I doing what I'm doing? Talking about your why again. What is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing? Because that's going to push you through on those bad days, And thinking about also like, am I doing this for me or am I doing this for someone else? I've heard of so many like lawyers and doctors, multi-six-figure income earners quit their jobs to go work as, a life coach, because that's what their passion led them to, and it took them time. Maybe they worked on their business part-time, until it built up to whatever income that felt comfortable with. But I see it all the time because, those jobs, they have really great credentials and it really looks cool on paper and it's awesome to be called a doctor and all this stuff, a very respectable career. But the thing is, a lot of times people get into those types of careers, not always, but oftentimes either because they push into something like, you hear parents like, I want my child to be a doctor when they grow up, or I want them to be a lawyer, or, they're pursuing it because of the income. And like we talked about a few minutes ago, money isn't everything. Money is going to help you get what you want, but pursuing money alone is not going to be enough for the longevity. You could have, money, 6 figures, 7 figures in the bank, but you could be empty inside and feel broke, internally. And that's worse than being broke externally, because, I've been to third world countries and I've seen like people in poverty be genuinely happy. So it's not necessarily, of course, money makes you comfortable and it gives you so many different opportunities. That I'm not disregarding that, but what I'm saying is money without the fulfillment, the passion, pursuing what you love to do, it will get old eventually. And then, a lot of times we wind up just in this mundane state of just waking up, going to work, coming home, eating, waking up, going home, praying for the weekend, Friday Junior on Thursday, Friday's here, like the countdown, and then dreading Sunday nights. Like the number one time for people to have a heart attack is Sunday night, because they're dreading going back to work on Monday so much that it physically causes them to be that ill where their heart fails. So really thinking about, why are you pursuing what you're pursuing? Is it for you or is it for your parents? Is it for you or is it for the money? So like, get clear if it is something you're in a space where you're not really happy with your career, you're not really happy with whatever your job is, maybe it's a temporary job. That's okay. Work full time on your job and part time on your career, or part time on your passion. It doesn't have to be. I'm not suggesting anybody to like quit tomorrow. I mean, unless you want to, like that, if that really fires you up.
Do it now. Do it now.
You have some stability that you can fall back on, because some people do.
Mm-hmm.
What we're saying is, really, if you're not pursuing what you want to be doing, figure out a game plan. Especially January's here. This is the perfect opportunity to figure out a game plan of how to start to work towards that dream. Even something simple, like shout out to Love More right here. Jason created this logo, and this is a first official Kings and Queens Academy brand item. And essentially, you could do something so simple, like if you really enjoy custom made items, you can like create logos from home. You could easily do that in your part-time on the weekends or at nights, or whatever the case may be. You could do something like make branded items. That's what I do, that on a regular basis. So it's not about quitting your job and like running the opposite direction. It's really about easing into another career path, or something that you can comfortably do both things while you're pursuing your passion. And sometimes your passion never sparks up into a full-blown career. It doesn't necessarily have to unless you want it to, but always understand, there's always time for the things that you enjoy, and it's your responsibility to create that space in your life.
Yes, 1,000. That was like so much of the things that you were saying. I was like sitting here, and I'm like, I want to jump in, but I was like, I'm not gonna jump in. But yeah, no, because you was touching on some powerful stuff. 100%, you was touching on some powerful stuff that I definitely wanted to jump in on. But yeah, so I mean, tonight we wanted to share these things, not only because they're important in the grand scheme of things, but I think time wise they're extremely important right now, because we know that. And when I say we, I'm not only talking about me and Nikki. I'm talking about me, Nikki, and anybody who's watching this or watches it. We know that this is the time where people gear up to make major changes in their life, right? This is the time of reflection. This is when we look back on everything that we've done, and then everything that we wish to do. And this is the time where we game plan. So we wanted to bring this to you guys because this is important right now, right? So that takes us to the final point of tonight. And the final point of the night is this. What does all of this boil down to? Or what does it all add up to? And it all adds up to this. Pursuing your purpose with passion is the answer, right? So we have to figure out, number one, what is our purpose? Why are we here? What are we supposed to do? And it doesn't even have to be your the purpose for your life. Maybe you figure out the purpose, for this year. Maybe you figure out the purpose for a relationship that you may be in, or a friendship that you're holding. Maybe you figure out the purpose for whatever career it is that you're in, because everything has a purpose. And once you start identifying purposes on a smaller scale, it'll give you the skill set you need, or at least give you the clues to figure out what your purpose is in life, right? And now once you understand why you're here, what your purpose is, because that's the biggest question that we as human beings have to answer for ourselves. Like, why are we here? Right? Why me? Why am I here inside this time and space? What am I supposed to do? We don't want to get to the end of our life and look back and feel as though we did not accomplish on what it is we were sent here to do, because whatever it is that you were sent here to do, whatever gifts that you were given to bring to the world. And if you don't bring those gifts to the world, you're not only doing a disservice to yourself, but you're also doing a disservice to the world, because the world needs the gifts that you were sent here to bring. So we have to identify what is our purpose. And once we identify what our purpose is, we have to do things that fill us with passion, because passion is what we need to make it from point A to point B. Passion is what we need to be able to push through the tough times, push through the hard times, push through the times where we've been fighting to get to what we know is our destination. And you may raise your head up and there's no one around you. Maybe there's no support in sight, right? Maybe you start to doubt yourself. But in those moments, you need to tap into, or you need to call on your, or activate your passion to push you forward. But if you're not, if you don't have awareness around where your passion lies, then how can you ever call on it? How could you ever use it if you don't know where to find it? Right? So we have to have passion awareness, and we have to apply that passion to the things that we do, because that's going to streamline us right to our purpose. And when we fulfill on our purpose, we not only win, but the world wins when we fulfill on our purpose, right? So applying passion to the pursuit will get you to your purpose. But we have to be clear on what is our purpose, what are we passionate about, and are we pursuing that specific thing or those specific things if we're looking at multiple purposes.
For sure. All right, perfect. So we're going to wrap it up for tonight. We do have coming at the beginning of 2021 an awesome free 3-day course. Details are coming really soon, so it's looking like it's going to be the second week in January. We're going to have signups coming really soon, right after the first of the year, so you guys can sign up and reserve your spots, because there will be limited spots available. So this course is called Breaking Free 2020. Essentially, what we're going to do is just cut through some barriers that have been holding us back. Maybe, we're kind of at the end of a road, we're really frustrated. We're just going to cut all that free and let that go and keep it in 2020 and really take on 2021 as the best year yet. And we're going to give you some really powerful tools on how to do that. And we'll have similar meetings like this together where you guys can actually have a question and answer session at the end, and we can answer any questions that you might specifically have around any of the issues that you're dealing with right now.
Yeah, I'm super, super excited about that, because we get to talk to you guys for a little bit longer.
Yes.
And I love talking to you guys. So, and we'll be able to talk back and forth. That's the most powerful part of it, is that you guys will be able to actually converse with us, and we'll be able to answer some questions, and maybe even, get some insight from you guys. So, yeah, 2020 has been what's the word? It hasn't been a ordinary year. And for a lot of people, it's been a difficult time. For others, it's been perceivably a difficult time. And then some people had powerful years. So we got to bring all of that into one space and then see how we lift everyone and free everyone, because 2021 is going to be a powerful year, 100%.
Yes.
Without a doubt. And we're going to make sure of that. So join us. We're ready.
Yes, for sure. And if you're interested in one of these beauties, contact me and you can get your hands on one. Just message me and we can talk a little bit more about that. Thank you all for joining us. Can't wait to see you next week. And as soon as those details are available about 2020 Breaking Free, we will get those out to you. Have a beautiful night. We'll see you next time.